reconvened this grants allocation committee for community grants, and we are welcoming Tash from Kotuku Flower Farm. And Isaac, how are you?
Thank you, how are you?
Cool, thanks guys. All yours.
These are some flowers we have grown from our farm.
Beautiful.
So I'll give these to you guys as a gift.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Beautiful. Do you want to tell them?
They're gorgeous, aren't they? So, oh, there we go.
Yeah, tell them what you enjoy about the farm.
We'll look after the daisies.
So,
yes.
these awesome tamariki, along with a few others, run a flower farm at Paraparaumu School. We started last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last year. And we're growing it and hoping for some new garden beds, aren't we? And some soil and a few other things. We have pop-up markets, and we often give flowers to people in the community.
As in, like teachers, we give some flowers back after them from our school.
Cool.
That school. We have school values in our school, and that is respect, aroha, positivity, and te oranga waiwai. And pretty much we just try and show all those values not only in our school but also in our garden, towards people and towards the flowers and stuff.
In the community, yeah.
Great.
And Tawara, you were telling me that the gardening makes you feel alive, eh? Yeah. So it's been awesome as a way to learn about horticulture, and as well as practice our school values, and also just have heaps of fun, eh?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it's good to be giving to people in the community.
Yeah.
And it's quite a cool space for like going and having a little break from stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like being amongst the flowers and the gardening.
It just feels better. Feels better to be in the garden than actually outside doing like nothing at lunch.
So I was just going to actually ask a question. I don't normally ask questions. But Tawari, you were telling me about all the different activities that you do every day. So when do you guys actually get to go into the garden?
Anytime in school time, when the lady who's got the key comes in, she'll come in, she'll get all of us, and then we'll just go in the garden and start working.
Which we read quite regularly.
And what kind of stuff do you do when you're working in the garden?
We pick dahlias for bouquets. We sell bouquets at our school. So we pick flowers for them. And we name some flowers after teachers and the kids who still do the Kotuku Flower Farm. They've got dahlias named after them. So when they're finished flowering, they'll give the seeds to us so we can grow it.
And during the winter where we can't be in the garden, we'll get some edibles from the from the farm, and we will make some cakes and stuff, and we will put the edibles on top and we will sell those for other parts.
So Tom Thud buys our edibles every Monday.
Yeah, Tom Thumb Cafe, yeah.
Yeah.
And we,
Are there many kids doing it?
There used to be 40 of us.
Yeah.
But now it's cut down to about
8.
8?
Yeah.
4?
That must be the 8 coolest kids in the school, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
and in the holidays we got some of the flowers and we took them to some friends at Nahina Kindergarten for their lunchtime tables, and we're looking forward to doing a little bit more of that. There's a rest home up the road from us, and we thought it could be quite cool to leave some random flowers at the train station, things like that.
Yeah.
For people to find.
I feel like most people at the garden would happily get rid of their lunchtime to be there at the garden.
Well, thank you, Tawera and Isaac and Tash. Really appreciate you guys coming out. Does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, I just have to say these are beautiful, by the way. Isn't it fabulous that you create this from seeds?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having
I do have to say, because we've said to everybody else, we've had far more applications than there is funding available, but
Yeah.
all of these things are taken into account. But thanks, guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much for having us.
Cheers.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Right.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
did
well
really
done.
well.
Thank you.
Well done.
Do you want us to? I'll take these. No, you can take the cake. Okay.
Take the cake.
Do you want to take another cake?
Hope the boys got some cake, did they?
Thank you so much for your manaaki taina as well.
Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers. Thank you. Next up, we have actively coping with cancer. So we've got Christine and Sheila and Jan. Lovely to see you again.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. So, if you have 3 minutes to tell us what you do, and we may have some questions afterwards, if that's okay.
Right. Well, we're just
Yes.
enforcing the application that's been made, and we all benefit so much from belonging to the Actively Coping with Cancer group. It provides Qigong exercises which can be adapted to the varying health needs of the group, and that's thanks to Christine. We also all gain support from one another, which is very important for people who lives have been touched by cancer. It can be a very isolating situation. The group also has monthly longer sessions, which include discussions of beneficial topics such as laughter, optimism, and many others. Meditation and relaxation are part of this. It would be fantastic if the group could be helped financially, which would enable the amazing program to continue.
Lovely. Can I just ask, because I was struggling with the language, so is it Tai Kiki Gong?
Qigong.
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 Ah.
I think, if I'm right in saying that the Qigong is a modified form of the old military Tai Chi, no?
We call it, I'm sort of not got a voice today. It's called Tai Chi Qigong. Qigong stands alone apart from Tai Chi, but it has similarities to Tai Chi. I don't know what else you know.
Yeah. We've heard in the past of people who have said just how much they benefit from doing this. Do you? How do people know you're there?
Mostly at the moment by word of mouth. But the Cancer Society know that we're there, and we have yet to let the medical centres know that we have some spaces there. So it's through just letting people. We don't put things in the newspaper anymore.
Yeah.
There isn't one.
There
And
is
so-
a wonderful online one.
There's a
though.
wonderful online newspaper, but we won't go there.
We don't go online, so.
So, and just a final question from me. So, when people are participating, is it free to participate, or is there do they pay a?
There's a
Amount,
co-par, which
yeah.
you'll see in our application form. People at the moment, while we've got subsidy, we ask people if they can afford to give us $5 co-par. But not everybody does give a co-par.
Yeah.
Some people give more. It's a sort of voluntary contribution to the costs of the program and to the way of, sorry, I'm just not
No, it's all right.
struggling, but yeah, just the way as a commitment to coming and to participating.
Well, thank you very much for what you're doing. Shelley?
I just wondered how many people, is it one session a week and how many people come?
Yes, I've got 16 on my list at the moment. We've got a lovely
16?
large hall, and we get about 8 each time.
Okay.
We have 3 people who are over 90.
Wow.
Murray is going to be 104 this year, and we have some people in their 60s, so it covers quite a range. And because of the way it is run, it is possible for people of all ages and all. People sit down for some of it, people come for part of it. We call it light-hearted. We have breaks, so it's just the way if we see that there are people there who are struggling, we'll just have a longer break and we have discussion during the break or something like that. So it's monitored every week to how people are able to manage the class really, and that's where my background, skill and expertise come in. The expertise in being support people, communicating with people, keeping in touch with people, has relied on people like Sheila and Jan and others who so it is a group that look after each other really, and I just play my part.
Thank you very much for that. As I've said to other groups that have come in, we've got far more applications than funding available, but I would mention also there's a hall hire remission scheme that council has that you can apply for, which I think you would fit the criteria very nicely for that. I know it's more forms to fill in, but there's a real value in that. So it's the hall hire remission scheme. We can arrange to send something out to you if you like, if that would be helpful. So we've got email addresses and things, I think.
Yes, you've got my email.
Oh, great. Okay, so we'll send that out to you as well.
We did get $750 from the Romati Community Board.
Great.
To contribute towards the whole hire costs.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. No, we appreciate you coming in, and thank you very much for the work that you're doing. And if I get to 104, I'm looking forward to signing up as well. Might start earlier.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah.
The last year, anyway.
It's a pleasure.
Lovely.
Yeah. It's a pleasure.
The majority would be in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. We don't appear to have any other questions, so I'll thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh, right, okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Cheers.
No, we've got a little bit of time, but
We've got lunch.
when phones come,
Yep.
they're outside, but their interpreter's actually going to be on Zoom.
Ah.
So we're just going to need a few minutes to figure out the screens.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Ingrid, come on up. Ingrid Shepherd from Larch. Company. Oh,
Sorry, that's my fault.
okay.
You can stay there if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to, sorry, but we'll take Stuart, who's online, apparently. Stuart. Was this one of those Zoom conversations? Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, he is there.
Moriora ki te katoa, can you all hear me?
Kia ora, yes we can. So Stuart from Ngāti Awa Retreat Trust. So you have 3 minutes, Stuart, and then we may have some questions.
Oh, ka pai. So the organisation that I'm actually speaking on behalf of is called Te Aukaha. I'm a trustee with Ngāti Awa Retreat Trust, which is kind of like the legal entity housing it, but we're a bunch of people, mostly ex-students of either Te Wānanga Raukawa or Te Wānanga Aotearoa, led by Dr. Reverend Rangi Nicholson, and his I'm Pākehā, and I'm kind of the helper admin guy. We're all volunteers, and Matuarangi's passion, and I suppose the passion for our group is language revitalisation, but in the community, and in a kind of wanting to normalise te reo, be it at church or at shops or wherever. And so that's kind of what we're about, and also with a kind of a model of tōkana taina mentoring, which is that tōkana older sibling taina younger sibling. So the idea is we hold regular hui, which are either full immersion or have immersion spaces. We're probably doing more of that because a lot of people that were coming had almost no te reo, so full immersion was too much. And we also run kind of more informal ongoing mentoring with some of the young people that are a part of that, which is the tōkana taina type idea. So that's the kind of the gist of the kaupapa. Now, Matuarangi is part of the Pioapatanga, the Anglican Māori Church. Tani Ora, who's one of our other leaders, is from a kind of Catholic background. We're open to people from all walks of life, but it tends to be that the current leadership team anyway are people of Christian faith. So that's kind of where we're coming from, but we welcome anyone who cares about te reo to come to our hui. So it's just really because we operate on koha, and we don't want money to be a barrier. That's where from time to time we reach out to groups like yourselves to get a bit of funding. So that's kind of the nutshell. I'm probably out of time. I could speak more about our future ideas if that's helpful.
Kia ora, Stuart. I appreciate that. Nigel Wilson here, Chair. Hey, so the hui is the venue Whakarongotai Marae?
No, not at the moment, because myself and Matuarangi both live at Ngāti Awa. It's just been an easy way for us to host them here. So many years ago was Ngāti Awa Camp, now called Ngāti Awa River Monastery.
Yeah.
So it's an Anglican contemporary monastic community, and so we've been hosting the hui in the hall, which we turn into a wharenui for the weekend. We've been hosting them here. We do often get along to whakarongotai for other kaupapa, and he sits on their kaumātua committee there.
Oh, yep, that's cool. Okay, do we have any questions? No, we don't appear to have questions. The application sort of speaks for itself. One thing, because I've been telling everybody who's come into the room, we've had significantly more applications than funds available, so just letting everybody know that. So we'll just say thank you very much for the work that you're doing.
Yeah, brilliant. Totally understand that, and appreciate what you guys do at the council as well. Thanks so much.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
And Ingrid, welcome again.
Thank you.
There you go. You get to be a party to how it goes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Last year I actually put an application in but chose not to speak because I thought that the application spoke for itself. This year I'd like to really just say thank you for the funding that you've given us to date, I have brought a folder with some photos if you're interested. So we've been the recipient of 2 lots of funding from you previously. One was through a partnership with St Vincent de Paul, and that allowed us to build a tool shed for our gardens. And then most recently last year we received funding which allowed us to, with other funding from Nikau Foundation, build a substantial nursery and some more fruit tree beds. So just a bit of background on L'Arche. L'Arche is a community of people with and without intellectual disabilities. It's a long-term, it's an international organisation in Kapiti. It's been in Kapiti for about 25 years, I think. Initially just in one home. Now there are 3 homes and an office and another home being built at the moment. So overall at the moment there are 7 sections of land. One of them is in Redwood Close, the other 6 are opposite Kapiti Impact Hub. So it kind of locates us just above the train station. Yeah. And yeah, so around the homes, but also because there are a couple of empty sections, these have historically just been grass. But over the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of work put into developing those, and that is work from people who live at large, core members and assistants. So core members are people with intellectual disabilities, and assistants, many of whom are also volunteering. So a number come from overseas, come for a short period of time and volunteer. We also have outside volunteers that come in either on a Wednesday morning or one other time during the week, often a Thursday, and help to tend the garden. So we produce a lot of vegetables which are used in the homes but also donated to Mary's Guest House. St Vincent de Paul pick their own food share over in Waikanae, and also Cancer Society, so a bit of crossover with 2 of the previous talks. So yeah, so there's I guess there's a food value to the work that we're trying to do there, but also there's a lot of relationality with these other organisations, but also within the garden team. Once again, a bit of crossover. 2 of our volunteers actually are on a cancer journey, and yeah, just really love coming and feeling like they're making an impact, either by being with core members or tending the gardens. So yeah, so it's a lovely group of people. The core members, the assistants, the volunteers that come in, and we really appreciate the support that we've had from you to make this a viable concern. So yeah, I guess our application currently is just to say, yeah, we're still developing gardens. We'd like to plant more citrus and fruit trees, and so the soil would be useful for that. And because a lot of the L'arche core members are elderly, but also we've got elderly people coming as volunteers or with health needs, we'd like to have seating around, which is not just plastic stools, which is what we use predominantly at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate the funding and support that you've given previously.
And thank you for the work that you do. It's just superb, really, really excellent. Does anybody have any questions? No, the application speaks for itself. I will just say, as I just said to Stuart, we've had more funding applications than funding available. So just to let everybody know that.
I have actually got a question. If I can.
Shelley has a question for you.
With regard to seating, you worked at all with the men's shed to see if they can support you with that kind of thing? Because that's the kind of project that they get involved with.
Right, no, I haven't, and that's a really good thought, yeah.
And they might build you the seating for free.
Right.
And we've got our, wood recycling now down at Otahanga Zero Waste, so they can source cheap wood. It's just an option because that's the kind of thing that they enjoy.
Yeah, no, that's a really wonderful idea. Thank you. Yeah, we have been trying to source seating, second hand, and we've managed to do some of that, but yeah, I hadn't thought about the men's yet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, sorry, Rob. Did you? No. Oh, well, that's it for now. Thank you very much, Ingrid. Really appreciate you coming in and the work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Great. Cheers. Now we're going to talk to Pip McLean via Zoom. I think.
We've got the interpreter on Zoom. How are we going to do this, Maria?
Okay.
So just unpin council.
Here we go.
Hello, can you hear me all right? I've just unmuted myself.
Kia ora. Yes, we can hear you.
I'll just need a connection with Tanya.
Yep.
So if someone is able to check that she's connected through the Zoom link, I just need the screen to be closer.
I can see Tanya myself, but that my screen's split. I'm not sure.
You can see Tanya. Oh.
Sorry, the
Do you want me
interpreter,
to
is
hold
it?
your
It's
phone
Toti,
for
is it?
you so she can see you? I can hold that for you.
Yeah, she's frozen now. Let it go.
Is that all good? Can you see her? Email.
Sorry, just bear with us while we get these technicals sorted out.
She's in it right now. May I? Thank you.
Sorry about this.
Oh, yep. So you're in there?
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, gosh. Is she still in there? No. What is happening?
Maria, is she still on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is this a...
Oh, yeah. This one. Oh, let me just... I'll just hotspot. Can you go to Wi-Fi? Welcome along.
Would it help if I just joined the Zoom on my laptop and brought it over?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. How about I do that?
1 moment.
What is ringing?
I'm just going to mute.
Welcome.
Teams meeting. Tap to return to call.
Can we hang up? Yeah, just hang up. We getting there?
And Maureen's going to bring her thing over, isn't she?
Okay. Unless we could just prop it up.
That's the Wi-Fi though. That's the
Oh,
problem.
yes.
So just find where the settings. Oh, hang on, I'll find it. Settings. Wi-Fi? Sign in.
Oh, yeah.
Big enough?
Thank you very much for that. Can you all hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear. I think we can all hear you fine now.
Fantastic, thank you. So she's just checking. Oh, I can see her.
Yep. So it's on the screen. It says Morag, but it's actually Pip.
Right, are we ready?
Yes. Yep. When you're ready.
Kia ora, I'll be interpreting for Tanya today. Kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome everyone. So I wanted to pay my respects to the council. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate your support. I didn't realise that the Wi-Fi, I needed to connect to the Wi-Fi. So thank you. That allowed me to not miss out on the hui. Kia ora, Nigel. And I'm not sure everyone else's names, but kia ora and hello to everyone. Thank you for inviting us.
Kia ora.
So I wanted to start by introducing myself. I did previously give out some information about ferns. Just checking that you all had a copy. Thank you. Someone had given it out on my behalf earlier. So I hope you'll be able to have a look through that information a bit later. So my name, I'll start with introducing myself. Kia ora koutou katoa. I whakapapa te tū iwi, ngā pui e Ngāti Tū Wharetoa. Ko Tanya Ali, toku ingoa. My name is Tanya. I'm from Paraparaumu. I'm deaf. And I've lived in Paraparaumu for 29 years. I've always encouraged and been involved and supported the Kapiti community and people with disabilities and the Māori community. I'm the co-chair of Kapiti Ferns. My co-chair is Mark, who's come along with me today. And we're applying for a grant to cover the cost of having a face-to-face interpreter or an in-person interpreter in our meetings so that I can be involved in our project. He reo turi, he reo hapori, which means a deaf voice is a community voice. Sorry, she's just finger spelling. He reo turi, he reo hapori. New Zealand Sign Language interpreters are extremely important for the deaf community for equal access to communication. If there are no interpreters provided, a huge barrier is created for the deaf community, excluding us from many spaces. It's very difficult to communicate with hearing people who cannot sign, which means we have to gesture or write notes to each other, which is extremely difficult in meetings or spaces where there are many people. New Zealand Relay Service, which we're using today, the video interpreter, has also advised that settings such as conferences, lectures, and meetings with large groups of people are better suited to face-to-face interpreters to facilitate. Due to the technology or the limitations of technology, it's not suitable for remote interpreting the same way that we're using an interpreter today. As you saw earlier, there were a few issues with the technical side of things connecting. The risks to interpretation can be affected by the internet connection, technology freezing, and audio issues. The interpreters can't always hear what is spoken when there is background noise. and it can be very difficult for them to hear through a small speaker on a phone or a laptop or in a large room with others speaking. The New Zealand Relay Service is not an appropriate platform for these types of meetings. Which is why we would require a face-to-face interpreter. I'm hoping that you will look favourably on our community grant application. Ngā mihi. Thank you, everyone. I have a few questions that I'll continue with shortly, but I'll pass it over to Mark to continue his part of the presentation.
Well, kia ora everyone.
Kia ora, Mark.
As you guys know, my name's Mark Jones. I'm also co-chair of the Ferns Board. Of the action group. I'm here on behalf of Ferns and Pip McLean, who submitted this application, who unfortunately can't be here today. Our project is a deaf voice. A deaf voice is a community voice. We're asking for support for funding for to help fund the NSL, the NSCSL interpreters, so the deaf community member can lead, contribute, and thrive within our group. Our Kapiti community group was formed in August 2024, and we met monthly at the fully accessible Kapiti Impact Hub. We are disabled people taking action in local issues, identifying barriers and driving meaningful change. Our group is co-led by myself, another co-chair who is deaf, which is Tania. We have eye-sign interpreters at every meeting so that the deaf members can fully participate in all our conversations, decisions and leadership. This is not luxury. Interpreters are a must-have. Whom them deaf members are excluded. And we believe inclusion, including deaf people and community members, deserve to be fully included, respected and heard. Interpreters make this possible. Up until now, Ferns has self-funded NZSL interpreters because we believe removing barriers, not creating them, but to continue the vital mahi, we need your support. Interpreters support, strength our group beyond communication and helps us to grow. We are learning NZSL, developing inclusive skills and gaining a deeper understanding of each other. The Ferns grant application sign with your funding criteria by building resilient communities by, by, by removing real barriers for deaf people, improving quality of life by empowering voices that deserve to be heard, and fostering partnerships as we learn, adapt, and grow together. This work also reflects the partnership of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, NZCPRD, which New Zealand ratified in 2008. It ensures that disabled people have full access to community leadership and community projects and participation just like anyone else. Interpreter support doesn't just help deaf members, it lifts the whole community, and it ensures deaf members are included, not excluded. Thank you for considering our application. I will do my very best to answer any more questions that people may have.
Kia ora, thank you for that. So yeah, I have a question. Just in relation to this building itself and council meetings, is the technology here sufficient to cater for
I was
deaf?
just going, yeah. It seems to be okay, but as you can see, working off screens is not the best thing, as we've just noticed. So face-to-face interpreters would be the way to go.
Right, and one other question. Our interpreter today seems equally conversant with Te Reo and English. So would the interpreter that you would require generally, would the person have to be able to sign in both languages? Or is it the same, it's the same language, but interpreting Te Reo?
To that language.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I do have a question. I wanted to go over my questions. I'll go back and start again. Don't be afraid if you don't know any of the answers to the questions. So question one I have is, why does the interpreter support cost so much? I wanted to respond by saying that the communication is difficult. Sorry, the interpreter's just missed. Sorry, I've just missed that. Can you just start it again? She's talking about question one. What happens if there is no interpreter? Without the interpreter, deaf members feel excluded. We have to write notes back and forth, or type on your phone through an app. which makes things a lot more difficult. We want our deaf members to be treated as equals, the same as everyone else. Question 2 I have is, why does the interpreter support cost so much? So Ferns works alongside iSign, which is the interpreting agency. There are 3 interpreting agencies throughout Aotearoa. However, we work with iSign because they're trusted and they're reliable. The costs will vary due to travel, which is why we've submitted an estimate.
Mhm.
We have a dedicated interpreter that we had booked every month from February to December. We'd booked them in for the 1 year. It was, I believe it was 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. So a 2-hour meeting that the face-to-face interpreter would come in for. So the trust along with that interpreter is really crucial in meaningful participation. The next question is, if funding isn't granted, we will have to continue to self-fund the interpreter for our meetings, because an interpreter in our meetings is essential. But we will continue seeking other funding sources to help sustain this cost. Why would the council support such a small group? Well, we are new. We're a growing group. And the interpreter support helps not only our current members, but also ensures that a deaf voice is heard in the wider community, and we're creating those connections. We're learning New Zealand Sign Language together and creating long-term inclusive change. Next question.
I'll just interrupt briefly. We are constrained by time. Normally the entire presentation is 5 minutes. But so if we could kind of just wind it up. We do have the paper, thank you, and so we can go through that as well for additional information. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So sorry. So Titania, if you would just like to your concluding remarks, if you have concluding remarks. But we have all the paperwork.
I wanted to ask if you could if you were able to share the Zoom image. Sorry, I'm just so with the Zoom that we're on now, you can access this through subtitles. So I was just wondering if you were able to take a picture.
Yes.
If someone was able to take a picture, just for us to be able to show our board or our group.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we had come along.
Yep, absolutely. Evelina's going to take a photo now. Of us all looking very wise.
And then I'll send it to Pip.
And then I'll send it to Pip. Oh, sorry. Evelina will send it to Pip. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so
Thank you.
yeah, so thank you, Tanya, and thank you, and thank you. Thank you. Is this, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Really appreciate you coming in, and I have to say the same as we've said to everybody else. We've had far more applications for funding than there is funding available, so we just have to let everybody know that. But we really appreciate you coming in, and thank you for the paperwork as well.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers. Pleasure.
Anna from Namano is going to go now.
Yeah.
And Liz from People First will go last.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Oh, you get to get your laptop back too. And a free laptop.
I'll just leave you to your laptop. It's not mine, it's yours. I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for setting up the link.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Yeah.
It likes to stop working often, so I don't know if you want that.
Here you go.
Anna. Kia ora. How you doing? Yeah. Yes. It's time to turn your life around, Anna.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Anna from Ngā yeah, so we have about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we may have some questions. The last took a little bit longer than planned, so
No problem.
here we are.
Kia ora koutou, ko Anna Mackenzie Hawea tuku ingoa, kei te mahi aho I Ngā Manu Nature Reserve. I'm here to support our application for $2,000 with regards to uplifting the mana of our volunteer workforce through providing them with uniforms. So many of you know Ngā Manu's kaupapa is connecting people with nature, but we also play a role in connecting our communities. So at the moment we have over 100 volunteers working at Ngā Manu. That's grown 20% year on year, with over 40,000 hours of mahi aroha dedicated by our volunteer team in the last 12 months. It plays an important role in the lives of these many volunteers as a place where they feel great pride, great mana, to be a part of a team where they not only can, deliver great value, but also be part of a very cool community, doing some amazing work for conservation, education, and also the community in Kapiti. So many of our volunteers have been at the reserve for a very long time, the longest serving, I believe, 51 years. Many in the 20 plus region and many in the 80 plus age bracket. We also have a wide variety of ages. So we've also got a number of students from college, in particular Paraparaumu College, and they often volunteer after doing the vocational skills program that we offer. So the reason we're asking for uniforms to be funded is because we currently are unable to provide those to many of the volunteers who've started in the last 6 to 12 months due to budget pressures. And we're also finding that a lot of our longer standing volunteers, their uniforms are getting quite aged, and they're probably not feeling that they are upholding the mana of those volunteers as well as they could be. So it's quite sad for us to not be able to do this for our volunteers. We do as much as we possibly can, and we do have a great team and a great team culture and vibe, I would say. But yeah, this is something that we'd really like to do for them so that they, we know that they feel proud to be a part of this team, and we'd like to show them that respect and see them wearing a uniform that makes them feel proud to be at Ngā Manu. Yeah, I think that's probably about it, and I'd like to hear any questions you have.
I got one question. The Ngā Manu does a brilliant job, by the way. Have you approached the EDKB as part? I mean, Ngā Manu is one of the great visitor attractions, and I just wondered through their tourism.
The EDKB. I don't actually know what the. Oh yes, of course we have. Yeah. So we do work closely with the economic development team, but this felt like something that was more suited to a community grant because it's based around a volunteer team. Yeah.
Actually, just for the record, we heard from volunteer Kapiti this morning who were looking to do not necessarily uniforms, but recognition of people who are the volunteers.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job, and we get a lot of referrals for volunteers through them. We're constantly advertising with them for specific roles that we need help with, and they've done a really good job recently with helping us to find volunteers for our Easter event. So another community event that we've run recently where we had about 1,500 community members through the reserve in 4 days, and of course we need a lot of volunteers to help with that. So we have 10 to 20 volunteers each day doing those types of events, and we can't offer them uniforms at the moment, despite the fact that we do recycle them. So if someone leaves, we ask for their tissues back and we wash them and then we give them out again. This is one of the least bad ones, so I've got a bit of cotton, hems falling down. But yeah, there's quite a few people without them at the moment, so we'd really like to be able to give them some this year. Yeah. It's also really important for keeping people safe from sunburn, etc. So most of the people that are working outside have long sleeves.
Yeah. Does that include the lid?
So we have got hats as well, and we did buy some of those last year. We've got a couple left in stock, but yeah, we absolutely. And we have previously also come to this grant for wet weather and warm weather equipment because we're 365 days of the year having to go out and feed those animals, so whether it's rain or shine we need to protect our volunteer team.
For sure. So there are questions. I've got Shelley and then Maura.
My question is, would you consider getting or trying to get support from business for that kind of thing? And they may want to put their logo on it, but places like Transpower and stuff, or the gaming community trusts?
Yes, so we are following up with a lot of sponsorship avenues in the last 12 months, and we've started to get a lot more sponsor relationships going at Ngā Manu. The ones that we're asking for, we are getting a really amazing price from a local provider, and we make sure that they are bought locally, so the money goes back into the community. They're AS colour uniforms as well, so we know that they are ethically supplied and also and they're made of 100% cotton. So we know that it's a good product and we know it's ethical. But I hear what you're saying about getting a sponsor who wants to put their name on them, and we are seeking any sponsors who would like to do that. Absolutely. So recently we've got a sponsorship with Mike Pero Mortgages and also Pahutakawa Decorating. So those are the two most recent, and we're constantly approaching local businesses to see if they would like to. That's quite a big sponsorship to get your logo on our uniforms. Absolutely, that would be wonderful to find someone to do that. So we're constantly looking, yet to find someone. And as for Transpower, we've actually recently got a grant to build a new Tuatara enclosure from Transpower. So that just came through last month. So yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Shelley.
Yeah, and any sponsor who wants to see 1,500 people see their branding in over a few days. Sounds like a good deal to me. Rob?
And then I would just like to acknowledge the work Ngā Manu are doing, and you're a very prized destination on the Kapiti Coast here. We've got few destinations, but you're certainly one of them on the map.
Thanks,
Keep up
Rob.
the good work. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And then I do just have to say, because I've said to everybody else so far, we have far more has been applied for than is available. So we just have to let everybody know that.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know, Nigel.
Okay. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Ka kite.
And we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth Bennett from People First New Zealand, Inc. Kia ora.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Elizabeth toku ingoa. Kei People First New Zealand, aho mihi ana. So I'm from People First New Zealand, I'm Elizabeth. I am the Central Region Coordinator for People First New Zealand, and I also assist the local Kapiti group here that runs every month. So I am here on behalf of our funding manager who lives in Masterton, and she has put in this application which is requesting for some funding to assist running some of the courses that People First run. So we have sort of a couple of other wings in People First. One is our Make It Easy Read translation service that you might be familiar with. So that sort of translates documents into accessible formats, simple sentences, plain language and pictures. And another arm of our kaupapa is our Learn With Us courses, and all these courses are co-designed with people with learning disabilities, specifically for adults with learning disability. And this year we are really keen to run our Speaking Up course, which is all about empowering adults with learning disabilities to understand what is advocacy and self-advocacy, teaching them how to speak up for themselves. Even just little things like we'll do role plays, and you can role play being in a cafe and someone orders you a coffee, but actually you wanted a Coke, and just practicing actually being able to stand up and say that's not what you want. That course also covers sort of friendships, what's a healthy friendship, knowing what your rights are, but also knowing that rights come with responsibilities, needing to follow the law, being part of the community. And we also touch on the United Nations and the United Nations Convention for the Rights of Persons with Disability, which is sort of underpins all the work that we do, but can be a bit complicated for people to understand. So we make sure the courses are fun with lots of role plays and bringing in guest speakers from the community as well. We actually just ran this course in the Wairarapa a couple of weeks ago, and we had someone from the Masterton District Council come in and talk about their local elections. So it's a great opportunity for those people on the course, community members, to understand that they have the right to vote, how they can vote, etc. So that's one of the courses we wanted to run. The other course we would like to run is Enabling Good Lives, which you may well have heard of. That's been a real social movement driven by the disability community, making sure that people with disabilities get the choice and control over their lives and the supports that they receive. And that course runs through those 8 principles of enabling good lives: self-determination, beginning early, being person-centred, having ordinary life outcomes, considering mainstream first, being minor enhancing, easy to use, and relationship building. And again, that course is going through what all the principles are, and looking at case studies, but also doing lots of role plays, because that really helps consolidate that learning. A lot of people don't want to sit and listen to a lecture. They want to get up and get involved in their learning. Yeah.
Elizabeth, the workshop, how many people are you expecting to attend that or attend the workshops?
We would have our Kapiti group members, at the moment we've got 9 members here in that come regularly to the Kapiti group. One of those members would actually co-facilitate the course, so it's an opportunity for the members to develop their own sort of leadership skills. And then we open it to the whole community. So I'm fortunate that we have some really good networks in Kapiti. Some of you might be aware that People First just hosted a disability expo in Waikanae, thanks to some funding from the Nikau Foundation. So we've got really good networks with all the other disability providers. So the courses be open to anyone else with a learning disability that wants to come. So we usually would have about 20 on a course at a time. I think on previous courses we've had 25 because we've managed to have all the Larch lot come and the Shed Project guys and People First members. And it's been great. Yeah, we wouldn't turn someone down. We'd just try and make it work because it's such a great opportunity to learn.
And are People First part of the disability advisory group?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes. Yeah. So myself and Morgan have been coming for several years, and we've just reapplied to remain part of the disability advisory group.
Great.
We just think it's vital that that voice of people with learning disabilities is heard and included in the decision making that goes on. Yeah. We were really lucky. Last month we had the I forget the name of the team from the council. They came out to talk to People First about the accessible pathways for the beach accessways. Is it the community?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the team. Sorry, it was Kat and Pippa. Pip came, yes.
Yeah, Cat Wild.
Yes.
Yeah, great name. Yeah. That's your name, Cat Wild. Yeah. Any questions from anybody? No. Thank you, Elizabeth. I do have to say, as I've said to everybody else, we've had applications for far more funding than we have available.
I think it's a national problem.
It is
Yes.
literally a national and ACT problem, but we can deal with it in another forum. Thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Nami.
Cheers. Just saying. This so ends the party political broadcast. So that brings us to an end of public speaking. So we will, we'll just tidy up some things on the itinerary here. So is there any members' business, any leave of absence? No, not seeing any of that. Any matters of an urgent nature? Not seeing any of that. Okay, so we will now move a resolution to move into public excluded. Moved Councillor Warwick, seconded Councillor Cooper. All those in favour? Aye. So we are now into public excluded to discuss